Alicia was between life and death. And the cruelest part? It was someone from her own home. The woman who made her tea that morning. The one who said, "I love you," before she left. Was her sister. And now she's missing. If that shocked you, subscribe to the channel now. Here, we share true stories. Ones that hurt, provoke, and never leave you untouched. Stories like this one. And tell me in the comments. Have you ever trusted someone so close, someone you never imagined could betray you? This is just the beginning. What's still to come will send chills down your spine. The resuscitation room of Nampula Central Hospital seemed to breathe in rhythm with the machines. The constant beeping monitored Alicia's vitals, who had been unconscious for nearly 36 hours. She was surrounded by doctors and nurses. Some were colleagues, others just silent witnesses to the tragedy. No one really knew what had happened. Only that morning, Alicia had stumbled into her shift. She vomited blood in the hallway and collapsed. Her eyes were glazed, her hands trembled, and her skin, once golden and firm, had turned yellow like a dry leaf. The entire hospital was in shock, not just because of how serious it was, but because of who she was. Alicia Zhao, head nurse. A strong woman, loved by everyone, known for her calm and generous spirit. She saved lives. She was the one who comforted frightened mothers in the middle of the night, who shared food with poor patients, who stayed late without complaining. Everyone had a good story about Alicia. Now, lying among wires and tubes, she was fighting for her own life. But what shocked people most were the whispers spreading through the halls. It wasn't an accident. She was poisoned. The hospital director asked for discretion, but it was too late. Rumors traveled faster than lab results. They say it was someone from her own house. Jealousy, maybe? They're saying her sister was involved. And in fact, she was. Nadia, the younger sister, the last person to see her before the collapse. The only one who brought her a hot cup of tea that morning. The only one who had now disappeared. Alicia was between life and death. And the cruelest part? It was someone from her own home. The woman who made her tea that morning. The one who said, "I love you," before she left. Was her sister. And now she's missing. If that shocked you, subscribe to the channel now. Here, we share true stories. Ones that hurt, provoke, and never leave you untouched. Stories like this one. And tell me in the comments, have you ever trusted someone so close, someone you never imagined could betray you? This is just the beginning. What's still to come will send chills down your spine. 3 months before the poisoning, everything seemed peaceful. Alicia and Nadia lived together in a modest house inherited from their late parents. They shared the yard, the kitchen spices, and even the same fan on the hottest days. But beneath the seemingly calm routine were cracks, deep ones. Alicia was the eldest. Balanced, organized, practical. She had worked since she was 18. Never married, never liked parties. She devoted herself to work, church, and family. The kind of woman who carried the world without complaint. Nadia was the opposite. For years younger, impulsive, loud, always jumping between short-term jobs and fleeting romances. She was beautiful, strikingly so. Men always noticed her first. But over time, that became a wound. Because being noticed didn't mean being chosen. She grew up hearing comparisons. Alicia is so responsible. Nadia still needs to find herself. Look at how your sister behaves. Learn from her. At first, Nadia laughed those comments off. Then, she started swallowing them, storing them, until they became bitterness. She loved Alicia, or at least she thought she did. But she loved more the version of herself she wished she could be, and wasn't. And every time someone praised her sister, something inside Nadia bled. The final blow came when Elias showed up. A new doctor at the hospital. Kind, soft-spoken, with a smile that could calm even the most panicked mothers. Every woman talked about him, and Nadia was smitten right away. "That one's for me," she said, confidently. But Elias noticed Alicia. It was slow. A compliment here, a casual chat there. He admired how she cared for patients, how calmly she spoke, how she listened. He saw something in her that no one ever saw in Nadia. Depth. Nadia noticed. And something shifted in her. You? With him? She asked one day, forcing a laugh. Alicia didn't understand. We're just talking, Nadia. Oh, sure. You're never with anyone. But now that I like him, suddenly you're interested. That's when Alicia first saw the shadow in her sister's eyes. It wasn't just jealousy. It was anger. That week, Nadia changed her behavior. She started waking up earlier, made the coffee before her sister, offered help, gave compliments. Alicia found it odd, but wanted to believe it was a fresh start. On Friday, before Alicia's shift, Nadia made her ginger and lemon tea. She served it carefully in a glass cup. You've been tired lately. I thought this might help. Alicia thanked her. She drank it while organizing papers in her purse. Halfway to work, already in the choppa, she felt dizzy. At the hospital, she collapsed. And that was the beginning of the worst nightmare of her life. And what about you, listener? Have you ever felt that someone who smiles at you hides poison in their heart? Let me know in the comments. And don't leave this video, because what this story is about to reveal will send chills down your spine. Before envy turned to poison, it was just an irritation. And before that, it was a silent ache, one of those pains we feel as children and don't know how to explain. Nadia was born 4 years after Alicia. Both were raised by the same mother, Donna Judite, a simple woman, seller of corn cakes, who raised her daughters with a firm hand and an open heart. Their father, Mr. Venancio, was a carpenter, quiet most of the time, but hard-working and honest. The house was small, but full of laughter, at least on the outside. Alicia was always calm. Since childhood, she liked to observe, to help, to keep things in order. She was the kind of child who washed dishes without being told, who looked after her little sister when their mother went out to sell food. But Nadia was a storm. She spoke loudly, ran barefoot through the street, dropped plates, said what she thought, even when no one wanted to hear it. Their mother laughed with the neighbors, saying she had fire in her eyes. But deep down, she worried. Alicia is easier, she once said to a neighbor. But Nadia drives me crazy. And Nadia heard it. She always did. From a young age, she noticed how adults smiled more at Alicia, how teachers praised her for getting top marks, how their father called Alicia my little judge, while he only said, "Try to calm down, Nadia." That turned into a shadow. She loved her sister, truly, but she also wanted to be loved like that, wanted to be praised that way, wanted to see pride in her parents' eyes, not just concern. The first real wound came when she was 10. Nadia rehearsed for a week to sing at the school assembly. She felt beautiful, brave, ready to shine. But on stage, her voice cracked. She froze. She cried. When she got home, her mother said, "It's okay, sweetheart. Not everyone is born for that." That same night, Alicia was awarded Best Student of the Year. The school even put her photo on the mural. And Nadia? She became a footnote. The years went by. In her teenage years, Nadia tried to stand out. She wanted to be the bold one, the pretty one on the block. And she managed. Heads turned wherever she went. Boyfriends came and went. But she wanted more. She wanted respect. She wanted to be admired the way Alicia was. When their parents died, in a bus accident, when Nadia was 20, the grief brought the sisters together. For a time, they lived together, cried in each other's arms, supported one another. But they each grieved in different ways. Alicia buried herself in work. She started nursing school with a scholarship from the church, worked during the day, studied at night, managed the house, and still found time to help the neighbors. Nadia tried selling cosmetics. Then she tried braiding hair. Later, she worked in a store. But nothing lasted. She got frustrated easily. She said life was unfair, that opportunities only came to those who had the right profile. The right profile like Alicia's, she'd say, without saying it. When they began living alone, their differences became more obvious. Alicia was methodical. She liked routines. She liked silence. She cooked early, went to the market, kept everything clean. Nadia woke up late, left dishes in the sink, went out without saying anything. Small fights began. You think you're my mother? Nadia would snap. I just want peace, Alicia replied. I don't want to walk on eggshells. And yet, that's how they lived. Every day. What hurt Nadia the most wasn't the comparison. It was the way people looked at them. At church, they'd say, Alicia is a true example of a woman. On the street, when people saw them side by side, they'd whisper, so different. One's quiet, the other, well. With every compliment Alicia received, a thorn grew inside Nadia. It wasn't Alicia's fault. It was life's. But Nadia could no longer separate the two. And then Elias appeared. As always, Nadia noticed first. New doctor at the hospital. Single. Kind. Handsome. Soft-spoken. She got excited. Bought new clothes. Did her hair. Sent Alicia a message. He's the kind of man I want. But Elias barely looked at her. He met Alicia during a consultation. She helped him with an elderly patient. She was kind. And he was captivated. They started talking. Had coffee. Went to mass together. By the time Nadia realized, it was too late. And it wasn't just jealousy over a man. It was the trigger from a lifetime of swallowing compliments that were never meant for her. Even this, she thought. Even him. That week, Nadia went quiet. She watched her sister with cold eyes. Alicia, naive, thought she was just tired. On Friday, she offered the tea. And you, listening to this story, have you ever been compared to someone since childhood, as if you had to be exactly like them to be worthy of love? Have you ever carried family wounds no one noticed, but that burned you from the inside? Tell us in the comments. Your story may seem small to those who didn't live it, but here we understand. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. This story will still make you feel, cry, and think twice before trusting the one who sleeps under the same roof. The relationship between Alicia and Elias began the way lasting things often do. Slowly, respectfully, almost invisibly. He was a reserved man. Not quick to smile, but when he did, it was genuine. He had the habit of listening more than speaking. His eyes carried a calmness that matched the quiet strength of someone who had been through a lot. Alicia, with her gentle and private nature, felt strangely safe around him. At first, they only saw each other at the hospital. During shift changes, case discussions, sharing coffee. But gradually, their conversations deepened. What keeps you here? He asked one day at the end of a shift. The people. I like being close to pain, because I know what it means to survive it, Alicia replied. Elias was silent for a moment. Then he smiled. I think that's why I admire you. Meanwhile, Nadia watched everything with increasingly cold eyes. She pretended not to care. Made jokes about it. Played it off. Oh, so now it's that? Nurse and doctor? Are you two planning a wedding already? But inside her blood boiled. She started showing up at the hospital more often. Not to work. Not for any reason. She said she was just visiting her sister. But all she really did was walk the halls, flirt with Elias, and watch. She tried to start conversations with him a few times. But he, always polite, remained brief. Hi, Nadia. You doing well? Yes, just came to see Alicia. Ah, good. I'm heading out. Give her a hug for me. And he'd leave. And each time he walked away, her bitterness grew. At home, the tension began to thicken. Alicia tried to keep the peace. She noticed Nadia's stares, the long silences, the sarcastic remarks. You're acting strange, she said one evening while washing dishes. Strange? Please, you're the one too busy being perfect. Alicia stopped, dried her hands, sat at the table. What's going on, Nadia? Her sister laughed, shook her head as if dismissing the moment. Nothing, sis. I'm just tired. Maybe I need your peace or your boyfriend. Who knows? It was like a knife. Alicia stood slowly, said nothing, and Nadia smiled. A dry, bitter smile. Days later, Nadia tried to get close again. She bought fruit, made lunch, offered compliments. Elias seems like a good guy for you, she said sweetly. And he treats you well. You deserve that, you know. Alicia felt suspicious, but wanted to believe. Thank you, Nadia. I really want us to be okay. Nadia reached out her hand. The two embraced. But in that embrace, Alicia felt something cold. A chill that wasn't just on her skin. The following week, Elias invited Alicia out to dinner. A cozy restaurant, with live music and traditional food. During their conversation, he gently held her hand and said, "I never imagined I'd meet someone like you. Simple, strong, human. And, if you'll let me, I'd like to be a part of your life." Alicia smiled. She didn't say yes, but her heart had already answered. That same night, when she returned home, she found Nadia on the couch. TV on. Expression blank. Was dinner good? It was. And now, are you two officially a couple? Alicia hesitated. I'm still getting to know him, but yes. We're together. Nadia forced a smile. That's great. I'm happy for you. And in that moment, she decided, if she couldn't have Elias, then her sister wouldn't either. That night, while Alicia slept, Nadia stayed in the kitchen. She opened the cabinet, checked the spices. She took out a small bottle, hidden in the back of a drawer. It was an old bottle of expired hair dye. She mixed it with ginger tea. Then, she returned everything to its place. Wiped the sink. Left the glass dry. The next day, she would make her gesture of affection. It was a cloudy Friday. Alicia woke up early. She had a long shift ahead, but she felt lighthearted. The dinner with Elias the night before had left her almost feeling like a teenager again. She showered, did her hair, laid out her white uniform, and when she stepped out of the bedroom, she found the cup already waiting on the table. "I made you tea," said Nadia with a sweet smile. "Ginger and lemon, to cleanse the body and give you energy." "Thank you," Alicia replied, surprised. She sat down and took a few sips while checking papers in her bag. The taste was a little odd, but she figured it was just the lemon. "It's a bit strong," she said casually. "It's the ginger. I made it extra strong. Today's going to demand strength." Alicia chuckled, without suspecting a thing. On the ride to the hospital, she felt the first wave of dizziness. Cold sweat. She assumed it was the heat or stress. When she arrived, she greeted her coworkers like usual, but something felt off. Her head throbbed. Her legs felt heavy. 2 hours later, during patient intake, her vision blurred. The letters on the form started to jumble. A loud ringing filled her ears. She leaned against the wall. "Are you okay?" a nurse asked. "Just a little dizzy," she murmured. Minutes later, she vomited in the hallway. The color of it startled the staff. Doctors rushed to her aid. She was taken straight to the emergency wing, her pulse unstable, her blood pressure dropping fast. The hospital went into alert. One of their own was collapsing, and no one knew why. Elias was called. He pushed through the crowded hallways and stopped at her bedside. "Alicia." "What happened to her?" The nurse, attending her, shook her head. "We don't know. She arrived feeling sick, vomited blood, and now she's unresponsive." Elias looked at the face of the woman he had just begun to love. Pale, unconscious. Fear gripped him like never before. Later that afternoon, Nadia showed up at the hospital. She walked slowly, wearing high heels, a tight dress, and dark sunglasses. As if nothing had happened. As if this was just a routine visit. "What happened to my sister?" she asked at the front desk, voice full of fake drama. She was led to the observation wing. When she saw Alicia intubated, wires all over her body, she covered her mouth with her hands. A single fake tear slid down her cheek. "My God, what is this?" Elias stared at her, his eyes bloodshot from staying by Alicia's side. He didn't respond. "Did she eat something? Go out for lunch?" "No one knows," he said flatly. "But we will find out." Nadia bit her lip, stayed quiet. In the hours that followed, tests were run. Alicia's blood showed traces of an unusual toxin, something similar to an industrial cosmetic substance. Nothing typical of accidental poisoning. This was intentional. The hospital director brought in the police. Quietly, of course. It was a delicate case. Elias requested to oversee the lab reports. He was desperate, but focused. Meanwhile, Nadia returned home. Alone. She opened the fridge, grabbed a beer, sat on the couch, and turned on the TV, as if nothing had happened. 2 days later, Marta, A friend from church who also worked at the hospital went to the sister's home to get clothes for Alicia. When she arrived, she found Nadia lying on the couch in pajamas, scrolling on her phone. "I came to get a change of clothes for Alicia. And her Bible." "Oh, sure. Go ahead. Her things are in the wardrobe. How are you holding up?" Nadia glanced up briefly. Worried, of course. But God knows best. Marta noticed something strange. The coldness. The absence of real tears. The empty eyes. But she didn't say anything. She grabbed the clothes. On her way out, she looked back at Nadia and said, "If there's something you need to confess, God knows how to keep secrets. But He never lets the truth stay hidden for long." Nadia said nothing. That night, Elias received the final lab results. There was indeed a toxic substance in Alicia's system. Something that didn't come from spoiled food or expired medicine. It came from something tampered with, most likely mixed into a drink. And only one person had been with Alicia before her shift. The same person who disappeared for hours after the collapse. The same one who offered her tea. The name was on the intake form. Nadian Zhao. And you, listening to this, have you ever pretended to believe in someone just because it hurt too much to accept that they might be capable of destroying you? The hospital was already on its third day of forced silence. Alicia remained in a coma, connected to machines, eyes closed, her skin losing color. Her room had been isolated. Only 2 people were allowed in, Elias and Marta. The rest of the staff spoke in low, respectful voices, but their eyes always drifted to the same place, the closed door of room 27. "She's going to pull through, right?" whispered an assistant. "If it's based on what she deserves, she will." Elias barely ate, slept very little. He spent hours by Alicia's bedside. Sometimes he read aloud. Sometimes he just held her hand, as if that alone could bring her back. But now, besides the pain, he carried something else, rage. The confirmation of the poisoning hit him like a punch. And when he saw Nadia's name listed as the only visitor that morning, his blood boiled. But he couldn't act on impulse. He knew that. So he decided to do something doctors don't usually do: investigate. He started by going to the sister's house with an excuse. Said he wanted to give Nadia an update. She opened the door with a rehearsed look of concern. "Any news?" "The doctors are doing everything they can, but we still don't have answers." "She's going to wake up, isn't she?" "We're hoping she will." She offered him coffee. He declined. Looked around. The house was too tidy, as if it had been cleaned in a hurry. Then he saw it, the glass on the shelf. The only one with a yellowish stain, different from the rest. He didn't say anything, but he made a mental note. Then he checked the kitchen trash, an empty box of expired hair dye. "Have you been dyeing your hair?" he asked casually. "I tried but gave up. It smelled awful. I threw it away." He just smiled. On his way out, he called Marta. "Do you trust her?" "No, not from the beginning." "Why?" "Because she smiles with dead eyes. And because you can feel it when someone is hiding something dark." Elias was silent. "You think she was capable of this?" "Elias, have you seen the way she looks at her sister? No one looks at their own sister like that if they're innocent." Meanwhile, Nadia was starting to unravel on the inside. On the outside, she kept up appearances. Went to church. Visited neighbors with a look of sorrow. But alone she cried. Or, rather, she trembled. That night, she tried to sleep. But she dreamed of her childhood. Of her mother saying, "Take care of your sister. Protect her." She woke up sweating, breathing heavily. Went to the kitchen. Drank some water. Looked at the same glass she had used for the tea. Picked it up. Thought about smashing it. But she didn't have the courage. In the neighborhood, rumors were already spreading. They're saying it was poison. That only the sister was with her. That Elias is investigating on his own. Elias listened. Pretended to ignore. But he noted every word. Nadia heard them too. And with every whisper, her chest tightened. Her hands began to sweat. She started looking at everyone with suspicion. Guilt is a monster that screams in silence. On the 5th day, Marta returned to the hospital. She brought a new blouse and a small prayer journal. When she entered the room, she saw Elias sitting there, eyes swollen, his hand over Alicia's. Did she move? No, not yet. I've prayed so much. And I felt it, she's going to come back. Elias looked at Alicia. She has to come back. Because only she can tell us what really happened. Marta lowered her eyes. Maybe she won't even need to speak. Sometimes the silence of the one pretending already says everything. And you, listener? Have you ever lived with someone who swore they were innocent, but their eyes told a different story? Have you ever felt like the truth was right there, but no one had the courage to say it out loud? Leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because in the next chapters, the truth will start to seep through the cracks. On the 7th day of hospitalization, Alicia's heart did something it hadn't done in a week. It sped up at the touch of someone's hand. It was Elias's hand, once again laced with hers. But this time she responded, with a faint squeeze. Almost imperceptible, but enough for him to leap to his feet and call the team. She responded. She responded. The doctors confirmed it. Positive brain activity. Involuntary movements. Reflexes returning. Alicia was coming back. Marta cried when she heard. The entire hospital filled with hope. But outside someone began to shake. Nadia found out through a call from a neighbor. Your sister's waking up. They said she reacted to the doctor's touch. She faked joy. Said thank God. But as soon as she hung up, her body went into shock. No, not now. She wandered around the house aimlessly. Opened drawers, slammed cupboards, cried without sound. She knew that if Alicia spoke, there would be no way to hide anymore. Meanwhile, Elias and Marta met privately with a church friend who worked as an inspector. They told her everything. The test results, the glass, the expired hair dye, the emotional history between the sisters. I need time, said the inspector. This is serious. It's attempted murder. But we don't have a conscious victim yet. And what if she runs? Marta asked. I've already ordered discreet surveillance. If she makes any move to leave town, let me know immediately. Elias nodded, but his heart was restless. He couldn't wait for justice. He had to protect Alicia, even if it cost him something. That afternoon, Elias went to the sisters' house one last time. Nadia opened the door with a tense face. What is it now? I just came to say Alicia is improving. She'll wake up soon. Nadia froze. That's great news. Elias looked straight into her eyes. Long, steady, unhurried. Will you visit her, Nadia? Of course I will. She's my sister. Then why haven't you gone to the hospital when no one was watching? She didn't answer. He continued. I know what you did. Nadia turned pale. Her eyes filled with tears, but none fell. You're accusing me? No. I'm just saying that truth wakes up with the ones who survive. He turned and walked away. Nadia slammed the door shut and collapsed. That night, Marta received an anonymous message. It was a photo of the glass in the cabinet with a caption. She washed it, but the poison left a trace. Marta knew someone was trying to help. Someone close. Someone who had seen. She went to the hospital with the phone in hand. Elias, someone else is seeing all this. And they're not staying silent. Maybe God is raising people we don't even know about. Meanwhile, Nadia didn't sleep a single minute. She heard voices. She remembered her childhood. The day she broke their mother's mirror, and Alicia took the blame just to protect her. She remembered being sick, and how Alicia skipped work to take care of her. And she thought, what have I done? She looked at herself in the mirror. She no longer saw the beautiful, desired, clever woman. She saw a failed murderer. She saw her own reflection shake. At the hospital, Elias whispered into Alicia's ear. If you can hear me, know that I'm here. I love you. And you're going to make it. But when you wake up, you'll need to be strong. Because the world changed while you were asleep. And you, listener, do you believe that the heart of someone who has done wrong can still feel true remorse? Or are there things that not even regret can wash clean? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Because the truth is about to be spoken by the voice that was almost silenced. Room 27 was quieter that morning. Sunlight slipped through the thin curtain, and the only music in the air was the sound of the monitors. Elias, as always, was there. Marta had left a rosary on the pillow, and beside the bed, a Bible lay open to Psalm 91. That's when Alicia moved her eyes, slowly, like someone returning from the depths of a well. They blinked, trembled, then opened, small, tired, alive. Elias jumped up, pressed the emergency button. The team rushed in. Marta arrived running moments later. Did she wake up? Marta whispered through tears. She did, Elias replied, his voice breaking. The doctors ran their tests. Reflexes, breathing awareness. Alicia was conscious, though weak. Her speech was still minimal. But her eyes said what her mouth couldn't. She remembered. Elias held her hand once again. You're safe now. We're going to take care of you. She closed her eyes and let a single tear fall. That was the strongest yes he had ever heard. Hours later, alone with Marta, Alicia tried to form words. Her voice was still hoarse, but clear enough. It was her. Marta closed her eyes, took a deep breath. I know. We all do. And you'll be able to tell everything, slowly. But now you just rest. She wanted to take everything from me, but God didn't let her. Meanwhile, Nadia was pacing around the house. She had gotten the news. Her sister was awake, alive, conscious. She grabbed her purse, tried to run, but when she opened the door, she came face to face with the inspector. Nadia and Zhao? Yes. We need you to come with us to the station, just for clarification. But I didn't do anything. Then you have nothing to worry about. She hesitated, then lowered her shoulders. She was taken away. At the station, the inspector was direct. We know you were the last person with her before the collapse. We know about the jealousy. And we have an anonymous tip with details about a glass, a substance, and your recent behavior. That's a lie. Then tell us the truth. Now, Nadia broke down. For the first time, she couldn't hold it together. She cried like a child. I just wanted her to know what it's like to be invisible. It was always her. Always her. I just wanted a little peace for myself. So you tried to kill her? No. I just wanted her weak. To stop shining so much. But she almost died. Nadia buried her face in her hands. She knew it was all falling apart. Back at the hospital, Alicia was cleared to give her statement soon. Elias was preparing her emotionally. You don't need revenge. Just be firm. Tell the truth. What if she says she loves me? What if she cries? Then it'll be even harder. Because sometimes even the ones who love us destroy us just the same. Marta entered the room holding an envelope. The inspector wants to know if she can come talk to you, to hear your version. Alicia took a deep breath, looked at the ceiling. I'll talk. For me. For the truth. And for her too. At the station, Nadia was signing the initial investigation documents. There was no arrest yet, but she was now formally under investigation. Alone in the room, she looked at her hands, at her carefully painted nails, at the cheap ring she'd worn since she was a teenager. And she remembered her childhood. Take care of your sister, Nadia. She's your other half, their mother used to say. She hadn't taken care of her. And now, the one who needed care was her. And you, who are listening to this story, do you believe love can exist where there's intent to destroy? Do you think someone can hurt so deeply and still say they love you? Tell us in the comments. And if you felt that tightness in your chest like I did, subscribe to the channel now. Because in the next chapter, the two sisters will come face to face. And when love meets pain, not everyone comes out unscathed. The meeting was scheduled in a hospital room with police authorization. At Alicia's request. I want to look her in the eye, she said, her voice still weak, but firm. And say that I know. Elias tried to talk her out of it. You don't need this right now. I do, she replied. For me, not for her. Marta hesitated too, but understood. Sometimes, facing the one who hurt you is the final step before healing. The room was small, with white walls and a wooden table in the center. 2 chairs on each side. Elias and Marta stood quietly in the back. The inspector remained silent, only observing. Alicia entered first. Thin, pale, walking slowly, but upright, with dignity. Minutes later, Nadia came in. Face washed, eyes red, hair hastily tied back. No makeup. No filters. Just her. And the weight she carried. When she saw her sister, she froze. Stayed standing. Alicia just stared. Didn't look away. "You can sit," she said, her voice dry. Nadia obeyed. The two sat face to face. For the first time, with no masks. The silence lasted exactly 20 seconds. But it felt like an eternity. Until Nadia spoke. I don't even know where to start." "From the beginning," Alicia said. "From the moment you decided to erase me from your life. I didn't want to kill you. I swear to God." "You tried. That's enough." Nadia cried. It wasn't an act. It was raw, confused, desperate pain. I was tired of being the shadow. It was always you. The calm one, the perfect one, the one everyone loved. I lost myself, Alicia. I got lost in my own mess. And then, I saw you with Elias. And something in me broke. Alicia closed her eyes. Took a deep breath. "You think I didn't see you breaking, Nadia? That I never noticed your pain? I just didn't know you blamed me for it. I didn't want to. But I did. And I was wrong. And now, I know you can hate me. You can send me to prison. You can leave me alone." Alicia held back tears. Her fingers trembled. But she kept her composure. "I don't know if I hate you. But today, I'm afraid of you. And that alone says everything." Marta turned her face away, trying to hide her own tears. Elias closed his eyes. He knew that kind of pain was something no man could fix. Nadia shrank into her chair. "Are you going to press charges? The police already knows. It's not my decision. I can forgive you in my heart. But justice has its own path. Are you going to testify against me? I'll tell the truth. And let it do what it must." The air grew heavy. Nadia stood up. "I understand. You're right. I deserve whatever comes. I just wanted you to know that even still, despite everything, you're my sister. And I loved you. In my broken, sick way. But I did." Alicia gripped the side of her chair. "You loved me. But you didn't respect me. And love without respect kills too." Nadia couldn't reply. She turned her back. Walked out of the room. And the sound of her footsteps was the saddest noise that hospital had ever heard. After she left, Alicia cried. Not tears of anger, but grief. Because even in the presence of her living sister, a part of their relationship had just died. Nadia's case was formally opened 2 days after Alicia's testimony. Attempted aggravated homicide. The news spread quickly through the streets of Nampula. In the square, in churches, at the cassava stalls, everyone was talking. "Did you hear? It was her own sister. They say it was out of jealousy. She almost killed Alicia with tea. I'm never drinking anything again without smelling it first." Nadia was released to await trial, but was prohibited from approaching her sister, the hospital, or anyone involved in the case. She returned home under cold stares, closed doors, and whispers behind her back. The woman who once strutted in tight dresses and high heels now walked barefoot, eyes to the ground, soul on the edge. Each day felt heavier. Even the sound of the wind hurt. Meanwhile, Alicia was discharged from the hospital. Her body was still weak, but her spirit was something else. She moved into Marta's house, who welcomed her with love. Elias helped set everything up. "Are you sure you don't want to go back to your house?" Marta asked. "There's too much silence there. And today what I need most is to be heard." In the first few days, Alicia barely left the room. She listened to birds, read Bible passages, and cried. Quietly, as if not wanting to bother anyone. Elias came every day. He sat beside her on the patio. "You don't have to say anything," he told her. "I just want you to know. I'm here." And she knew. She felt it in every gesture of his. In every respectful silence. One day, Marta brought a letter. "It arrived today. It's from Nadia. Alicia hesitated. Her hands trembled. But she opened it. The handwriting was shaky. The text disorganized. But the words bled regret. Alicia, I'm not writing to ask for forgiveness. Because I know what I did can't be erased with words. I just wanted to say that since the day you woke up, I've been dying inside. Not because I fear prison, but because I realized what I destroyed was the only person who never turned her back on me. Alicia closed her eyes, pressed the letter against her chest, and cried again, but this time with a heart in pieces. The hearing was scheduled for the following month. The inspector called Alicia. You'll be called to confirm your statement. I'll be there. Would you like to make a recommendation to the judge? He'll consider your position regarding the sentence. Alicia didn't answer right away. She thought, breathed. I don't want revenge, but I don't want impunity either. I understand. You want justice. I want her to understand what she lost. The next day, Elias took her for a walk along the beach. The sun was shy, the sea calm. Do you still think about her? He asked. Every day. And what do you feel? An emptiness. Because I still love my sister. But there are people we love from a distance. Or only inside a memory. He held her hand. Even after all of this, you're still the strongest woman I've ever known. She smiled. For the first time in a long while. And you, who are listening, do you believe it's possible to forgive without forgetting? The courtroom was packed, but the silence was absolute. Up front, the judge reviewed documents. The prosecutor arranged the evidence. The public defender tried to speak with Nadia, who barely responded. She was there, physically present, but inside she had already given up. Alicia entered shortly after, accompanied by Marta and Elias. Dressed in white, hair tied back, eyes steady. No makeup, no rehearsed words. She carried only the truth. The judge called for silence. We now call the victim, Alicia Zhao, for her final testimony. She stood, walked steadily to the center of the room, looked first at the judge, then at Nadia. I could be dead. Total silence. I might not be standing here today because of someone who once shared the same mother's milk with me, the same childhood roof, and the same morning memories. She paused. Her voice cracked, but she didn't falter. I didn't come here for revenge. I'm not begging for pity or punishment. I came here because I survived, and I want to keep living, with body, soul, and a clear conscience. She looked directly at her sister. Nadia, you tried to erase me, not just from life, but from our story. But the truth is no sentence will give you back what you lost. The only person who never turned their back on you. The room exhaled heavily. Even the judge looked down. After her statement, Nadia was called. But she said nothing. She only cried. She accepted silence as confession. The judge struck the gavel. In light of the evidence, the victim's statement, and the defendant's indirect confession, this court finds guilty. The sentence: 5 years of house arrest with mandatory psychological counseling and a restraining order preventing contact with the victim during that period. No right to appeal. As they left the courthouse, Alicia was surrounded by journalists. But Elias shielded her with his body. She won't be speaking now. She just wants to breathe. And they left. Together. Months later, life slowly began to settle. Alicia passed an exam to work at a hospital in the capital. Marta returned to tending the community garden. Elias requested a transfer to the same city. One morning, the three of them were having coffee in the yard. Marta asked, "And if she writes again?" Alicia replied, "Maybe I'll read it. But forgiveness is still under construction. Brick by brick. Not for her. For me." At the end of the year, Elias made a request. No ring. No kneeling. No audience. I don't want to get married just yet. I just want to stay by your side. See you wake up in peace. And watch you bloom. Alicia smiled. That's already the best kind of commitment. And they kissed. A gentle kiss. Mature. Real. And you, who stayed with us until now, do you believe it's possible to love after pain? Do you believe justice heals or only stops the bleeding? Leave a comment below. Share this story with someone who suffered in silence. Maybe it will reach where words cannot. And please, subscribe to our channel. Our mission is to tell stories that are more than tales. They are echoes of real life, of the soul, of broken hearts, and of hope that refuses to die. Until the next video. With love.